Hi kids, good to see you all again. It's good to be back. I hear you've had some guest people reading for you this week, and I've got two very special guests. I wonder if you can see them. I don't know who could they possibly be? Who've we got? Who's this?
Elise.
Elise. And who's this? What's your name?
Isla.
Isla, that's right. And Isla, do you know who this is?
Almond.
Almond. And who've you got in your hands? Who's that? What's his name or her name?
Bunny.
Bunny. And Elise, who's this?
Unicorn.
Unicorn. Very good names there we go. Very rational and logical names. Well, we're continuing in our story. We've only got two more stories to go, today and tomorrow. And I don't know if you remember yesterday's story that Roman read out. It ended and it was really sad. Do you remember? Because Jesus had died. Do you remember where he died on, Elise? What did he die? He died on the cross. That's right. He did, didn't he? And we're going to find out what happens next. And tonight's story is called God's Wonderful Surprise. Now, if you're sitting comfortably, maybe in your pyjamas, Elise is in her pyjamas, Isla's kind of in pyjamas. Are you sitting comfortably, girls?
Yes.
Yeah?
Are you comfortable?
Are you comfortable, Isla? Yeah, kind of.
Very
Right.
hot now.
We'll start. Okay, here we go. God's wonderful surprise. Jesus' friends were so sad. They would never see their best friend again. How could this happen? Wasn't Jesus the rescuer? The king God had promised? It wasn't supposed to end like this. Yes, but whoever said anything about the end? Just before sunrise on the third day, God sent an earthquake and an angel from heaven. When the guards saw the angel, they fell down with fright. The angel rolled the huge stone away, sat on top of it, and waited. At the first glimmer of dawn, Mary Magdalene and other women headed to the tomb to wash Jesus' body. The early morning sun slanted through the ancient olive trees. Drops of dew glittering on leaves and grasses, little tears everywhere. The friends walked quietly along the hilly path through the olive groves until they reached the tomb. And immediately they noticed something odd.
Okay.
It was wide open. Do you see that, Isla? Do you see there? That tomb is open. They peered through the opening in the dark tomb, but wait. Jesus' body was gone. I wonder what had happened. Well, and something else. A shining man was there with clothes made from lightning. Don't be scared, the angel said. But they couldn't help it. They screamed anyway. Can you scream? Can you scream? The angel asked them, "What are you doing here? This is a tomb, and tombs are for dead people." The women couldn't speak. Jesus isn't dead anymore, he said. He's alive again. And their hearts leapt. And then the angel laughed with such gladness that they felt, for a moment, as if they had woken from a nightmare.
My bunny's a man.
Okay, nice. Oh, hang on, Lisa, you want the microphone. There we go, sit back. Good job. The other women rushed home, but Mary stayed behind. How could it be true? We're almost done. Jesus was definitely dead. How could he be alive? Just then, Mary heard someone else in the garden. Perhaps it's the gardener, she thought. He'll know where Jesus' body is. I don't know where Jesus is, Mary said urgently. I can't find him. But it was all right. Jesus knew where she was, and he found her. Mary. Only one person said her name like that. She could hear her heart thumping. She turned around. She could just make out a figure. She shaded her eyes to see, and she thought she was dreaming. But she wasn't dreaming. She was seeing Jesus. Mary fell to the ground. Sudden tears filled her eyes, and great sobs shook her whole body. And all she wanted in that moment was to cling to Jesus and never let him go. You'll be able to hold on to me later, Mary, Jesus said gently, and always be close to me. But now go and tell the others that I'm alive. Well, Mary ran and ran all the way to the city. She'd never run so fast in her life. She felt she could have run forever. She didn't even feel like her feet touched the ground. Why do you think she was running?
Because she wants to tell other people.
Yeah, she'd heard some great news, that's right. The sun seemed to be dancing and gleaming and bounding across the sky, racing with her and shining brighter than she could ever remember in the clear, fresh air. And it seemed to her that morning as she ran, almost as if the whole world had been made anew, almost as if the whole world was singing for joy. The trees, tiny sounds in the grass, the birds, her heart. Was God really making everything sad come untrue? Was he making even death come untrue? She couldn't wait to tell Jesus' friends. They won't believe it, she laughed. She was right, of course. Wow, so Jesus, he's alive. He came back from the dead. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's amazing, Isla. Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's great news.
If I was him, I wouldn't like to.
Well, that's the end of our story for this evening. And we'll have our final story tomorrow evening when we'll have worked through pretty much the whole of this Jesus Storybook Bible. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight and I hope you're tucked in. And Isla, can you say goodnight to everyone?
Good night.
Can you wave? Can you wave?
Bye.
Elise, can you say goodnight?
Good night.
Good night. And shall Almond say goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, Almond. Oh, she wouldn't say that, would she? Anyway, good night. Have a wonderful sleep and we'll see you tomorrow.